USC football climbs to number 4 in the college football playoff rankings, while UCLA slumps to 6th in the Pac-12. Did the Rams' downfall really begin with Von Miller? Let's think a second time about that. And the press is trying to create a catchphrase around the Dodgers offseason. Hi, I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos Morning Report. It is November 28th. We are all patiently waiting for the college football playoff rankings. We also added 2 new subscribers to the Angelino familia. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. And if you like the content we put out, clickety-clack the like button. Clickety-clack the subscribe button. There's a notifications bell. Hit that. It'll let you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. And yes, comment. It's why I created this thing in the first place. Before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard. For once, a Brandon Staley gamble paid off. The Chargers go for 2 after scoring a last-minute touchdown. Justin Herbert passes to an uncovered Gerald Everett. Chargers 25, Arizona 24. Now, I realize it might not settle your nerves if you're a fan of the Bolts, but even tainted victories or ugly victories are still victories. Meanwhile, the Rams defense did everything it could to keep the team in the game, but Kansas City still wound up with a 26-10 victory. There's a rapid recap of that game on the Rams playlist. Clippers 114, Indiana 100. Ivica Zubac leads the Clips with 31 points, 29 rebounds, and it led to some scribe online actually saying Zubac was Kareem-esque. I can't tell you what is more shocking, that Ivica Zubac was leading the Clippers, or that somebody actually compared him to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. What the hell was that guy thinking? Arthur Kaliev scores twice, but Ottawa needed overtime. They edged the Kings 3-2. And Jaime Jaquez Jr. scores 27 points to lead the Bruins to an 81-60 victory over Bellamare, a school I have never heard of before and will not hear of ever again. Meanwhile, today, Indiana is still in town. They're going to play the Clippers at 7:30. Do you remember how Indiana center Miles Turner was just lobbying so hard for the Lakers to trade for him, right? Memo to GM Rob Pelinka. Miles Turner just got torched by the white Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So you might want to tap the brakes on that little trade rumor. Meanwhile, the Lakers are 5-1 in their last 6 games. Okay, so the Associated Press poll was released late yesterday. The scribes boosted the Trojans to number 4. Now, to repeat something we've said before, the AP poll, which used to be sacrosanct, is now just another ingredient in the poop pie known as the college football playoff selection process. And if you're like me, you're now looking over at those hillbillies down south, right? Are you thinking that maybe Boo Corrigan and his merry band of toothless rednecks will figure out some way to slide Alabama north of SC? Are you like me that way? But we'll have to find out on Tuesday. There are 6 Pac-12 teams in the top 25. A surprisingly strong year for the Pac-12. But I tell you something, it goes to what I've said for years. In order for the Pac-12 to be strong, both USC and UCLA have to be strong. Unfortunately, the Bruins, they are 6th, not just in the polls of all the Pac-12 teams, but also in the Pac-12 standings. The Bruins technically are tied with Oregon State for 5th, but the Beavers got some sort of tiebreaker. I don't know what that tiebreaker is. We broke down the bowl selection process on this channel on Saturday. If you want the details, we'll put it this way. Any bowl contractually bound to select a Pac-12 team after the Rose Bowl could theoretically take UCLA. They could. They get their pick. But why would you pick the Bruins over Oregon if you're the Alamo Bowl, right? So the point I'm getting at is it could be any number of bowls, but if USC does not get to the college football playoffs, the Jimmy Kimmel Bowl could come a-calling. How's that for a slide? We mentioned yesterday that Allen Robinson was a Sunday morning scratch from the Kansas City game. And it's a little bit more than an owie. It's legit. He's scheduled for foot surgery. They need a screw to heal a broken navicular bone. Now, for those of you who don't know all them bones in the human body, the navicular bone is basically, for lack of a better term, it is the border that separates the ankle from the rest of the foot. It's a very important bone for stability. So he won't be able to heal in time for the rest of the year, and thus endeth a craptacular debut season for the defending Super Bowl champs. Now, before we learned he was hurt, I suggested that you renegotiate his contract because it was a 3-year deal for $46.5 million. But this year, he only had 33 catches, only 3 touchdowns, 0 100-yard games. And this was supposed to be the guy that was going to make sure that if Cooper Kupp was double covered, he'd be wide ass open. It didn't pan out. But let me give you a thought to chew on with your Pop-Tarts this morning. A Rams blog claimed that all the Rams' troubles began when they didn't re-sign Von Miller. Is that true? I will concede to you that the Rams don't have much of a pass rush, but the defense is legit. It's still top 10, okay? It's the Rams' offense that fell off the cliff. And what did the Rams sacrifice in order to bring in Allen Robinson? They let Odell Beckham Jr. limp away, okay, but then they traded away Robert Woods. Sure-handed, pretty quick, effective route runner, and damn sure great run blocker, Robert Woods, to get Allen Robinson. And what did they get back? A 6th-round draft pick. Chew on that one for a minute. Here's another candidate to have his Rams contract renegotiated, quarterback Matthew Stafford. Now, if it doesn't get tinkered with, if they don't change the contract, another $57 million becomes guaranteed in March. Now, I recognize if you're an athlete, you want to get paid. I do. But it would be an interesting conversation if you're the Rams. Hey, Matthew, thank you for the ring. But if you want to play, which we know you do, and if you want to stay healthy, we need to invest in the offensive line. So we need to renegotiate this contract. Speaking of Beckham, can we all just agree he's kind of a weird dude? Terrific with LA, but kind of weird. I bring this up because he was physically removed from a plane in Miami. He wouldn't fasten his seatbelt. He kept fading in and out of consciousness, right? So eventually, after he wouldn't obey, the police had to be called in to get him off the plane. And I'm sitting there listening to this story thinking, who do you think you are? Do you think you're the guy who played the Green Arrow on TV or something? I mean, and I hate saying that because I like Stephen Amell. He seems like a cool guy. But what is it with people that I like and the fact that they don't like to obey orders on a plane? I realize a lot of us have forgotten 9/11, but they take things pretty seriously at the airport now. By the way, I am very aware that Sean McVay got hit in the face during the Rams-Chiefs game yesterday, but so be it. I got hit in the face at the USC game yesterday. We're both going to heal. So let's just all move on.com. We are just going to have to get used to a catchphrase. The Dodgers are interested in. Go online any day on ESPN, on CBS, or just your random Dodger blog, and every single day, the Dodgers are interested in. It's one of those things that people are now saying and they don't even think about it, right? Like, oh, honey, I love you. Officer, I only had 2. The Dodgers are interested in. So I want to keep things easier. Instead of going breathless over every rumor over who the Dodgers are interested in, I'm just going to keep a list. If you are interested, just simply stop the clip when I bring this up and look through the names. Every time we have a new one, there's going to be an asterisk. So, the new player is Alex Reyes. The Dodgers are interested in. For those of you who are wondering, Alex Reyes is a free agent from St. Louis. He is a two-time All-Star. He is a flamethrower. The Dodgers like those type of pitchers, but he missed most of last season with a shoulder injury. One name not on the board is Tommy Conley. He was often injured, but when he was healthy, he was terrific. He missed most of last year. There are 10 teams allegedly interested. LA is not one of them. The Dodgers are also keeping in contact with free agent shortstop Trey Turner, but that's plus $10, that gets you a dime bag at the corner. It don't mean nothing. Gabriel Velarde, who had a scorching hot start to the season for the LA Kings, did not play Sunday. Hockey teams are super vague with injury reports. They're saying he has an upper body injury. For all we know, he could have had an arm amputated, or someone at the Deja Vu gave him a hickey and nicked his carotid arteries. We have no idea. The website Mayor's Manor reports that LA is trying to find a way to get teenage defenseman Brant Clark on the ice without having to, A, change his contract, which would be required under NHL rules, or B, send him back to college, where his skills are clearly too good for the college game. Do you really want to have him just piddle around there and watch his skills deteriorate? Now, he played 9 games with the Kings. You're only allowed to, once you get up to that 10th game, your contract changes, and the Kings are up against the salary cap, so they didn't know necessarily if they wanted to make that risk yet. So they sent him to minor league Ontario to, quote, train, but he can't play a game with the Ontario Reign. Same reason, his contract would change. The latest idea by the Kings is to ask Team Canada to invite him to play in the World Junior Championships, where the skills would be significantly better than what he would be facing in college. It's the only non-NHL option at the moment. Also, defenseman Frederick Allard was called up to the Kings from Ontario yesterday. This is from the Testicles Made of Brass department. Anthony Davis wants a tribute video to be shown by the New Orleans Pelicans the next time the Lakers go to the Big Easy. That's not going to happen. But I have to tell you, I mean, I love the chutzpah. The dude didn't like playing down there, so he behaved like a diva until he got traded to the Lakers, where he wanted to play. I admire his guts for insisting on it. It's kind of like Maroon 5 singer Adam Levine knocking up the other chick and then writing a song called I Bet I Could Still Get My Ex in a Three-Way. That's what that felt like to me. I applaud the nerve. If you are a Clippers fan, are you happy with John Wall? Genuine question. He's averaging 12.3 points per game in just 22 minutes off the bench. What if he was the starter? Is he right now better than Reggie Jackson? You might know the answer better than I. One game, as a reserve, he dished out 15 assists. He is knocking on the door to the starting 5. Quote, to be this good this quick, we didn't see it coming, according to Coach Tyronn Lue. Finally, there was an article in The Athletic. It was titled, Why Mexico Can't Score. And if you've been watching the World Cup, you've been sitting there just shaking your head like everybody else. But I'm here to tell you, if you're a fan of Mexican soccer, you know just as well as I do, you do not need a 5,000-word essay titled Why Mexico Can't Score. You just need a 1-word essay, Chicharito. And if you're a Galaxy fan, you knew that just as well as El Tri, just as well as me. Chicharito. That's why Mexico can't score. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. We got a lot to talk about today. If you enjoyed this clip, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We do talk LA sports each and every day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Kian Corte El Queso production. Take care.